Guys, welcome to week 3. Next week we will be at spring break, so there will be no lessons that week, and then we'll pick up again the following Tuesday. I believe it's the 14th, but I don't have a calendar in front of me right this minute. So if you guys remember, last week we worked on vertex form. So what we're going to be doing today is we're actually going to go to factored form and we're going to go to standard form. And it does help to write these down in a notebook or on a piece of paper so you can refer back to them at any point. If we were in the class, we would be doing these on flip charts like we normally do, but we have to make do with what we have. All right, so we're going to go on to factored form. This was on the same thing. So factored form has f of x equals a, then x minus r1 and x minus r2. The r's, these are your roots. They're going to tell you where they cross the x-axis. The a does not change. So the a is going to tell you if we're going to open up or down and if it's wide or narrow. So a will tell us if it opens up or down. Up, it's going to be positive. Down, it's going to be a negative, okay? It's also going to tell if it's wide, which means it's less than 1, or narrow or thin, wherever you want to call it. And this is going to be greater than 1. Now, the other ones that will tell us is the roots, the R. These are going to be the roots. Remember, roots is also known as x-intercepts, its solutions, its zeros, many different names for it. Another way you could do it is x minus r1 equals 0, x minus r2 equals 0. Solve it, and that will tell you where it crosses the x-axis. All right, so if we have our example, I'm going to go negative, and you can put a 1 there if you want, make it easier for yourself, x minus 3, x plus 4. Okay, already from this equation, let me see if I can, nope, thought if I had a highlighter, but don't. Let's see if I can just use it yellow around it. So this is our equation. And if we want to figure out what do we know just by looking at that equation. So just by looking at this one equation, we can see it is going to open down. It's going to stay the same. It's not wider or thinner because of the negative 1, and it's going to stay the same. So it's not wider or thinner. Sorry about those little beeps in the back. Those are my messages from all the other teachers or students. Okay, and if you ever want to get hold of me, remember 911, you can also get me on Google Chat, which is all of those messages. I'm just getting tons of Google Chats right now. But go ahead and do that. I'm fine. Google Chats, emails. If you want to do Zoom, let me know and I'll send you a code. I've done that, did that yesterday for a student. All right, the other one is going to be the roots. These are the x-intercepts. So, and remember how we did it for vertex? It was always the opposite of what was here. Same thing. So our roots are going to be opposite of negative 3, 0, and opposite of positive 4. Okay? That's how we do it. And if you wanted to check it, we could. So I actually have it up. Let me change. It's this one. So if we look at it here, whoops, we can see it's crossing at negative 4 and positive 3. So we were right. Now we want to change it from one form to the other. And we can actually do this, but we're going to use Desmos for it. Okay. we are going to use Desmos. So we're going to find our vertex, and we're going to change it into the form. So what we're going to do, go to Desmos, and we want to find the line of symmetry and the vertex. So our vertex is going to be, let's see. It's a nice thing with Desmos, if you just hit it, it will tell you your vertex. So it is negative 0.5, 12.25. Now, if we want to have our line of symmetry, it's just going to be x equals whatever your x value is. So if we did it here, let's see, x, oh, I'm not used to this keyboard. Oops. Different keyboard. X equals, and that was negative 0.5. See, it's going to go right through the vertex. That is your line of symmetry. Okay, that is your line of symmetry. So our line of symmetry equals negative 0.5. And our vertex was negative 0.5, comma, 12.25. Usually we're going to get them that are a little bit easier to do, but we can still do it when Desmos does it for us. Have them do all the work, right? Okay. F of x equals. Remember, our first number up here was that negative 1. We are keeping that. Doesn't matter what it is, it's going to stay the same. That's the only thing that will always stay the same, the number in front. And remember, x, opposite of your vertex, squared. The y stays the same, so it's a positive. And if we graph that, it would come out to be the exact same one. Okay? Makes it a lot easier for us. All right, the last one, well, the next one we're going to do is standard form. As you can tell, this was my flip chart. Let's see if it goes. Doesn't want to make it smaller again. It's my flip chart because you saw on the other side, it said, say, glue here. You know, I love all doing those. So I'm trying to make it big enough for us. All right. So this one's standard form. Okay. Standard form is the basic one you probably have seen. This is one we did in IM1 when you had to know exponentials, quadratics, absolute values, just what is the equation. So first thing, A, same thing. It's always going to tell us these things. A, it's going to be, is it opens up, positive, or down. It's going to be negative. It's also going to tell us if it's wide or thin, or you can say narrow. But the C is the big one on this one. Besides the A, the C is going to tell us something very specific. The C is going to tell us our y-intercept. So if you remember, where does it cross the y-axis? That's it, C. All right. Our example. Oh, let's try a neat color. Let's try orange. So f of x equals negative 4x squared minus 16x minus 12. Sorry, that's a minus, not a check mark. And now on Khan Academy, you're going to have to graph these, and I'll show you a little bit later. I'll try to go on Khan Academy and put it up and do my version, and I'll make a video of it. All right, so what do we know from this equation? From this equation, the first number, we know it's opening down. Opens down because it's a negative 4. We also know it's going to be thin because of the 4. And we know the y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, that negative 12. Okay? So if we ever had to graph it, If we had this one, negative 12 is down here. It's opening down. It's going to be very thin. Something like that. We just don't know the x-intercepts unless we can do it on Desmos. And that's what we're going to be doing now. My graph would not look right. All right, so we're going to be changing this. We're going to find the vertex form, and we're going to find the factored form. This one actually works out really, really nicely. All right, so this one is not those. It is this one. If we look at it, so vertex form is first. It's negative 2, 4. So our line of symmetry is x equals negative 2. Vertex, negative 2, 4. X's are always going to be the same. Now, if you remember, our first number up here is negative 4. That has to stay the same. So negative 4, x, and we're doing vertex form. So remember, it was a x minus your h squared plus your k. So x, opposite of your x value, squared. The y stays the same. It's positive. There's your vertex form. Now, if we want to go ahead and do zeros, now the zeros, remember, is going to be a x minus r. That's an x minus r1, x minus r2. But we need to find our roots. This one worked out perfectly, I told you. So it crosses at negative 3 and negative 1. So our zeros are negative 3, 0, negative 1, 0. Doesn't really matter which one goes first or second. Because think about it. If you multiplied those numbers together, you'd still get the same thing. Okay, didn't minute the order. So f of x, first number stays the same again. Otherwise, we wouldn't get the same graph. X, opposite of your x value, and then opposite of your second value. And remember, you could have also written it x plus 1 and x plus 3. They are the same. Don't worry about it, okay? Okay. And the last one, if you remember, we worked on this equation. And this one was our vertex form that we first did last week. There's your vertex form. What we want to do is change it. We want to change it into another equation. So this time, we're going to change it into our factored form. So, oops, move it up. So factored form, we need to find out where it crosses the x-axis, and I've done that on Desmos. So it's vertex form, this one. So it crosses, these are not very nice ones, I know, but we can do it. So here it crosses at negative 5.225 and negative 2.775. Awful numbers, but doable. All right, so our zeros was negative 5.225 comma 0 and negative 2.775 comma 0. So we're going to write our equation. Our a stays the same. Remember, it was 2 above. We're going to go x, opposite of the first one. Since it's a negative, I'm going to make it positive. And then x, since this one's negative, going to make it again positive. And that's your answer. So that is showing you how to do all the other types. And I will do a video on how you do the Khan Academy because I know some of you do have trouble with it. I'll do 1 or 2 examples of each, and hopefully that will help you guys. All right. Hopefully that helped. Email me questions or get me on Google Chat in the mornings, 9 to 11. If you email me, I usually answer it within and within a couple hours, unless it's too late. But hopefully you guys are doing good, and spring break comes next week. Good luck, you guys.